fantastic episode of Baking with Mama Drea. Today I am bringing you a sweet treat. It is a little bit on the healthy side, I would say though. It is vegan, it is gluten-free, and it is super easy to make. So what are we gonna need? You are going to need 1.5 cups of chickpeas. You're gonna rinse them, and then you're gonna pour them onto a towel like so. And you're just kind of gonna let them sit, and you're just gonna kind of pat out some of that excess water because we don't want them to be watery. Well, that is sitting on the towel. I'm gonna tell you what else you're gonna need. You need 1/2 teaspoon of your coconut oil, and you need 1 cup of your chocolate. Now, I am using dark vegan chocolate. Make sure it is vegan if you want to keep yours vegan. If not, you can do milk chocolate. I just think it's really nice with the bitter of the dark chocolate. And then you are going to need a little bit of oil to coat your chickpeas in. If you want to use olive oil, you can. I prefer to use grapeseed oil. So you are also going to need a baking tray lined with either your reusable paper or baking paper. And you are going to need to melt your chocolate. Now, it is up to you if you want to do a double boiler. I prefer that. I have a pot with some water, a bowl, and I'm gonna put the chocolate in there. If not, you can use the microwave. Just remember, when you use a microwave for melting chocolate or butter, you wanna do short little intervals and mix it in between so you don't burn it. So we are gonna preheat our oven to 200 degrees Celsius. I'm gonna let these chickpeas sit for about 3 to 5 minutes just to get some of that water out. We're gonna put it onto our baking tray, and then once our oven's preheated, we're gonna go ahead and pop in our chickpeas with a little bit of that oil over them, mixed over them so they don't burn too much. And we're gonna cook it for about 20 to 30 minutes until they get nice and crunchy. So I will see you guys back here in a couple minutes after our chickpeas have dried. See you soon. Okay, so my chickpeas are pretty much dry. I've gone ahead and I put them back into my bowl because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour about 1 teaspoon of oil, again, oil of your choice. I'm using grapeseed oil, and you're gonna put it into your teaspoon, and you're gonna lightly cover your chickpeas with it so that they all sort of get covered. And I find it's easier, unless you have a spray oil, you can use a spray oil directly on to the chickpeas when you put them onto the baking pan. If not, I just find with regular oil, it's easiest just to do this. You put it in there and you kind of make sure that they all get evenly, not easily, it is easy, but they all get evenly coated. So we're gonna put it onto our baking sheet, spread them out, and we are gonna pop it into our preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius, about 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna bake it for about 20 to 30 minutes. Do check it around 20 minutes. You want them to be crunchy. You do not want to burn them. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven, and while this is baking, I'm going ahead and I'm getting my double boiler ready. I'm going to put my chocolate and my coconut oil, and I'm gonna start to get them melting. So when the chickpeas are done roasting, we can go ahead and mix those two together. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, so if you're using the double boiler method, you're gonna have a pot of water. You're gonna have a bowl that fits into that pot. You're gonna put your chocolate and your coconut oil in there. And basically you're just gonna bring the water to a light simmer. You don't want it to be boiling too much. And the chocolate and the coconut oil will melt together. I've got myself a wooden spoon, and I will just mix it occasionally. I would say it takes, depending on how high the heat is, between 10 and 15 minutes to melt your chocolate. You don't want to melt it too quick. You definitely want to do a double burner method and not put it directly in a pan on the stove, otherwise you will burn your chocolate. So while my chickpeas are cooking for my 20 minutes, I'm going to start to go ahead and melt my chocolate. So we will come back and check on this in a few minutes and see how it's doing. Alright, I'm getting pretty melty here. I would say just another few minutes, and my chocolate and my coconut oil is ready to go. So just remember, keep stirring it every couple minutes so that you get those chunks out, and then put it back on. I would say max this needs another 2 minutes, and this is done. All right, guys, so my chocolate and coconut oil is melted. My chickpeas are crispified and looking delicious. I've also gone ahead and prepared a small baking tray with a piece of parchment paper. Now, what we're gonna do, we are simply going to scoop our lovely chickpeas into our chocolate mixture. You can even kind of do this. Make sure they're cool. You don't want them to still be too warm. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna use my spatula and I'm just gonna make sure that I cover all of these chickpeas in chocolate. My goodness, crunchy chickpeas and chocolate. Okay, now, what we are gonna do, we are gonna take our baking tray and we are just going to pour these out. Get all that extra chocolate out of there. Lovely. Oh, the smell, guys, is amazing. Now, we're gonna spread it out. Beautiful. And then you're gonna put this into the freezer for at least 20 minutes. Actually, probably more, close to 30 minutes. So you want it to get hard. And then once it is hard, you are gonna take it out and you are going to cut it into little pieces. Just break it into pieces. It'll be much easier than using a knife. And you've got some lovely dark chocolate chickpea bark. So let's spread it out as even as I can. Does not have to be perfect, guys. Just kind of make a little rectangle like so. And I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in the freezer and then we will check back on it in about half an hour, see if it's hard enough, break it up and give it a try. So see you guys soon. All right, guys, it's been like 30 minutes. I think my chickpea bark is ready. I'm really excited to try it. So you're just gonna pick it up. It's a nice hard thing. And you just kind of break pieces off. Just like this. Should we try it? Let's try it. I'm so excited. I think it's still really hard. You might want to let it like sit out for a few minutes, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Oh my gosh, it's really good. I can imagine even putting a little bit of like sea salt on it. Really good, guys. Definitely recommend. Dobro good.